Ooh, it is your witchy friend Grace from Small World's Big Adventures with a little Spooktober announcement before our spooky game review of Villianous. This week and the next 2 weeks, we will be giving away a game from our personal collection. This week's game is Alice's Missing, a heart-stopping role-playing game about a missing girl. To qualify, you must live in the United States and comment on at least one video this week, October 8th through the 14th. We will then randomly choose a winner from the comments. Also, everyone who comments throughout the month, the 1st through the 30th, will be entered for a brand new copy of Horrified, a maddening cooperative board game with iconic monsters. We will announce the winner by commenting on one of the person's comments and announce in each Sunday's video who has won. The more videos you comment on, the greater your chance to win, so let us know your thoughts on each game. Hi, I'm Gracie, and this is Scott with Small World's Big Adventures, building community through gaming, and today we're going to talk about Villianous.
Yeah, Villianous is a game for 2 to 6 players, plays in 45 to 120 minutes, so upwards of 2 hours.
We've never had it go that long.
A lot of that depends on how many players you have. Yeah. Cost is $40 for the base game. This game has a bunch of expansions, to let you know. Setup, takedown, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, kind of depends.
If you have new players, it'll probably take a little bit longer to get them ready to play.
Yeah. Our box is set up where every different faction has a bag, and you just kind of pull the stuff out and get ready pretty quick. The game is Disney villains. You play as a villain trying to achieve your main goal for whatever that villain was from whichever cartoon. It's an I always want to say asynchronous. Asymmetrical. Villianous is an asymmetrical game where every villain plays a little bit differently, and honestly, some of them play pretty drastically differently. All of them have a 4 to 5 space board that they move along, but what they can do on those boards tend to be
different.
Quite a bit different. Each of them have a deck that gives them different abilities to help them with whatever their scheme is. Yeah. They also have a hero deck that is trying to stop them, and all of that is thematic to whatever movie they came from.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard to describe kind of beyond in a vague way what each of them do, because all of them are different. The main game comes with 5 villains.
I think so, yeah.
And then there are a bunch of expansions. Most of them come with somewhere between 3 and 4 for a lot of the Disney properties, including things like Star Wars, Marvel, pretty much all of the cartoons. So if you have a favorite villain, you almost certainly can find it.
Yeah. With it being Disney, we are curious who your favorite Disney villain is.
Yeah.
Mine through and through is Ursula. Is there a more iconic villain song than hers? I think not. What about you?
I don't know. How about Gaston? He's the only villain that's actually a hero.
I mean, he is just toxic with misogyny, but also
a little bit.
When we review games, we have a 5-point scale going from terrible to bad to mixed to good to excellent. And to kick it off, we're going to talk about player agency, which I think is good. The reason I say that is for your villain, you pretty much have freedom to kind of do all the actions on your board unless someone messes with you. But you said mixed.
I said mixed. Your board is actually not that big. You have,
it is not that big.
Depending on the villain, somewhere between 4 and 5 spaces that you get to move from. You always have to move off the space you're on. You can never stay where you're at. Yeah. So you're always moving to something different and doing things. And as heroes start to affect you, your options actually get more and more limited as you're moving along. It's not necessarily mixed in a bad way. It's just there aren't actually that many things that you can do. So kind of a light mixed, I guess.
Sure. Mechanics-wise, you said good.
Yeah, I think the mechanics work pretty well. It is a asymmetrical game. Each villain plays differently. Now, there are a bunch of rules that are similar, if not the same, across the villains, but what their goals are different. The timing and what they need to do for them are all different. And it works pretty good for pretty much all of them that we've seen. Some of them are easier than others, and some of them are a little bit more unfair than others because of that. But they all have a goal that is pretty well explained in the little pamphlet that each villain comes with, and does a pretty good job of guiding you on how you would play to get to that goal. So even if you've not played that villain before, you still have a pretty good idea going into it, which I really like. And you're able to accomplish that goal pretty well.
And I say mixed, almost for the same reason that you said mixed for like player agency, is a big component of the game is kind of messing with each other's boards. But if you've never played and you don't know what the other people's boards are and whatnot, it can be hard to know what is an effective like intervention, like who you should play a card on and things like that. What card will be the most damaging to who? And so I think because each person's is so varied, that kind of can intervene with the effectiveness of some of the mechanics.
Yeah, a little bit. To be fair, most of what you're choosing when you're affecting the other player's schemes is simply drawing the top either one or two cards of their deck and then choosing one of them. And then the cards themselves usually tell you what they do.
Sure, but if you don't know their goal, you don't know what's the good card and what's the bad card.
It's a little hard.
Good for you, bad for them.
There's generally not a bad choice there, but that can be a little bit. I'm not sure which one's going to be worse. Usually, you want to choose the character if there's a character, and then after that, it can be a little bit more confusing. But yeah, I see that.
Having said that, doesn't detract from its enjoyment. Yeah. Components, excellent. Here's why I say that. Individual cardboard boards.
Yep.
Art that matches and themes to the villain.
In that, I'm no expert. I don't think they're just simply taken from like the cartoons or anything either. I think they're individually made for this. At least it seems like it to me.
Like clear plastic, neat little like figurines for you to move around on, and then very nice cards.
Yeah, I said good, and this is one where I kind of.
Oh, also, very colorful, detailed handbook to play each villain. Okay.
Yeah. I waffle a little bit on this. I'm not sure that maybe excellent isn't the choice. I think I would have preferred a playing piece that was a miniature of the villain. And that I think that's the only part where I really kind of don't just bump it up into excellent. You're right. The art is really good. The pieces are solid. The cards are great. And I almost can't stress this enough. The little booklet that one explains what your goal is and then also gives you hints on how to achieve it is really important for a game like this and is really good.
Solid.
And where, I would have preferred, I think I would have preferred a miniature for the villains. The tokens you get are stylized, essentially icons that kind of represent them, are honestly almost 100% just super clever.
Yeah. Prince John's is like a crown.
Yeah, but it's not just a crown.
No.
The icons are just very clever, stylized version of something that like represents the villains, and honestly, it is pretty impressive. I still go with good for components rather than excellent, but it is close, I think.
Theming. Theme-wise, what did you think?
Excellent. Each villain plays out differently, and they all feel like the scheme that they're trying to accomplish is true to their source material, generally mechanically makes sense in what you're doing, and just works. And so in that sense, I think the villain part feels really good. You're kind of crafting a little story. And then on top of that, you get attacked by the heroes, and that also feels thematically real well done. It makes sense what the heroes are essentially trying to do to stop you and mess with your scheme.
I will also say that was excellent. You feel like you're living the Disney movie, but from the bad guy's perspective for sure. So yeah, just really solid all the way through.
Now she did change her opinion on it.
I did.
I changed her opinion on that, I guess. That's good. Because she wrote good.
I did write good. She wrote
bad, man.
I did not write bad.
She hates Disney.
First of all, I'm not a hater of Disney. Enjoyability is good.
Yeah. Also good. Never not liked sitting down and playing the game. My only regret is that we haven't gotten more of the expansions with more options.
Yeah.
With the way the game is set up, they just slot in. They don't come with extra rules really beyond
the little player book.
All the little player books all play a little bit differently, but you can grab pretty much any of the expansions and you don't even need the base game to play them. You can play the expansions.
As far as final thoughts go, it would be helpful if you knew everyone's like motive and objectives in playing that you're playing with.
That's valid. It can be hard to know when another player is getting close to winning.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's for me. It feels a little bit like Smash Up, especially like the more decks there are, the harder it is to know what you're actually competing against.
Yeah.
I know we don't have that many. We don't have any expansions, but it's one of those like the more you would play it, the more you would have a deeper understanding of it.
Yeah.
The villains are fun and unique. Unique to Disney, but like each one has a different thing. You will definitely have your favorite villain that you like to play, and you may have to arm wrestle someone for them. But also there are more complex villains for people who enjoy that, and simpler ones for people who are just brand new to the game. And I will just highlight that I would not recommend this for children or novice players.
It is surprisingly complex for a Disney themed game. And honestly, delightfully so. It is complex and fun, but not a great gateway game. It is a little on the complex side and can be confusing. And again, you don't know what the other players are doing, so that can be a little intimidating.
And then, like for kids, they may be like, "Oh, I love such and such movie," but then that's like the most complicated of all of the things. So yeah, not great for those. Having said that, you have more advanced players, dedicated Disney adults. This is the game for them.
Yeah.
What were your final thoughts?
I like that there are a lot of expansions. The expansions aren't that expensive. You don't need the main game to play. You could literally get the expansion with your favorite Disney villain.
Yeah.
And if it comes with 3 different villains, you could play with 3 people and you'd be essentially fine right out of that box. But also it gives you a much wider range of things to choose if you've bought a few of the expansions and have people over who have a specific choice. I like the asymmetrical gameplay. It mostly works. Again, we've brought up a couple of the issues with that, but I do enjoy it. You get to play your favorite Disney villain, which a lot of people just really enjoy and is a fun. We got this as a gift, or
I think we did.
Why we ended up getting this, but I was just really surprised that for a licensed game, how well it plays, how fun it is, and how complex it is.
Yeah.
A lot of licensed games are simple because they want anybody to be able to pick it up and play it, and a lot of times simple can be fun, but sometimes simple is bad.
This isn't Disney Candyland.
It's not Disney. It's not Disney Candyland, and I really respect that a lot. And I was really surprised at just how well this game plays and how fun it is.
Yeah. Normally, we would offer you other games that, like, if you like those, you would like this. But literally, if you like Disney,
do you like Disney?
You're gonna like this.
There you
go. But if you do enjoy asymmetrical games, this could also be something you like.
Yeah. It's a good asymmetrical game. It's a good centerpiece of. It's not cooperative, but it's not very antagonistic.
No, not very.
The stuff you can do to impact the other players is fairly limited, and generally doesn't feel unfair unless everybody is ganging up on one person. And even then, that doesn't tend to be the worst for them, because there's only so much that that can do to hinder them.
If you enjoyed this review, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to hear more board game reviews or hear gamekeeper tips or anything game related, you can go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified next time we upload a video. Until next time.